within, your hockey journey up, but also in management, or in the mentorship, is there some individuals or groups that you could share with people that have influenced you,
Yeah, I think
and looked up to?
professionally, it's got to be, at Hockey Canada, probably Bob Nicholson and Scott Salmond, two BC guys that, Sammy, especially was one of my mentors at Hockey Canada when I started there, and, still a great friend to this day, being the VP of hockey operations there. And, they've just got out of their quarantine bubble in Red Deer, and I wish them nothing but the best at World Juniors. But definitely Sammy and Bob Nicholson. Bob now is the chair of the Oilers there, but he is, I think I actually think Bob Nicholson ran skating programs at Oak Bay Rec here in Victoria, is how he got started in the game, and then moved up the Hockey Canada ranks like myself. And now is obviously, the head honcho with the Oilers there, and, teamed up with guys like Connor and Tyson Barry and Leon and those guys. So hopefully, they can cross that finish line of getting their cup in Edmonton. But yeah, as far as mentorship, I think it's just learning from those guys. There is no school to how to be. You want to be a doctor, you go to med school. You want to be a lawyer, you go to law school. There is no school on how to be an executive in hockey other than learning. And it's kind of climbing the ropes. And you have to, as much as hockey still has that old guard. There's no one that all of a sudden off the street is an NHL GM first time. You have to build your resume. And my dad said it best. I think one thing that really stuck with me, it sounds kind of cheesy, but hockey is a contact sport, both on and off the ice. And I think that's important, of building your network and using people that have gone ahead of you, whether it's, Pat and JP at CAA now. They've both got, been in the industry for 30 plus years, and there is no school to be an agent. It's just learning on the fly and being a fly on the wall, and, trying to build your client book and using what you've learned in the game to try and make the best decision for your clients. And that's all you can ask at the end of the day. You're going to make mistakes. It's human nature, but it's using your network of, whether it's for me, of OHL GMs or NHL GMs, and running it by people. And, there's people that I trust in the game to, form opinions. And I think it's just creating that level of trust within your network. But definitely, Scotty Salmon there and Bob Nicholson were huge for me in my days at Hockey Canada, to kind of take me under their wing. And I hope that I can do that with someone else here, to learn what, pass on what I've learned in my time there. And now on the player agent side of things.
For sure. Would you like to share with us, maybe not even in your early days, but possibly in your early days, of some challenges that you would face in Hockey Canada in your early years? Is there something that you remember that was hard or difficult, that it took a little longer to, whether it be master that skill or to learn?
I think it's just experience. I remember my first World Juniors, I was so nervous, and I was, I think we lost it was in 2012 in Edmonton, Calgary. Now I'm really dating myself. And I think we lost against Russia in the semifinal. I think Sweden won that year, and OT was Zabinajad scored in overtime, if I'm remembering World Juniors right. But I remember being such a nervous wreck, and that I thought, that decisions that I make, whether it's booking the bus or player meal times or whatever, that I was going to cost the team. And, that you build this up in your head to be this, that you're so important, and I'm like, okay, all I really am is like the team service guy, but it's, and again, then the next World Juniors, I was more calm and confident in my role. And I think it's just like anything. When you first jump in, it doesn't matter if it's managing the World Junior team or the first day on a new job, or your first skates for after tryouts, and you're always comparing yourself and wondering who's watching, and am I, the fear of screwing up, but for me, it was just, experience. And, now that my last World Juniors was, when was it here? 2019 in Victoria, Vancouver, actually. So we were, it comes full circle. Like I took the World Junior staff to my brother's house in South Oak Bay here, and we did a big dinner. And I never thought that we would have the World Junior team, staff at my house in Victoria, so it's that, and how comfortable and confident I was at my, nearing my end time at Hockey Canada. But really, it's just experience and, jumping right in and trusting that you are going to make mistakes. Believe me, I've had some epic mistakes in my time in Hockey Canada. Like when I came out for warm-ups in 2017, we were in Montreal playing the Czechs in the quarterfinal. And I always watched warm-up on the bench, and Ray Ferraro was there because he was doing the play-by-play. And he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, Bayne, a lot of red in the building tonight." And I look, and both teams, us and the Czechs, are both wearing red jerseys. And I'm like, "Oh no!" So I went back and I checked with our video coach, and he's like, "Yeah, we're supposed to be white." And I messed it up. I didn't tell the trainers. I told them the wrong color. So when they lay out the jerseys and the socks, so sure enough, we got off and warm up, and the trainers had to scramble to get the white jerseys out and the white socks, and the players were getting all mad, and because they have their routines, right? So they come after warm up and they're like, "What do you mean we got to change?" And I said, "Oh, guys, my mistake." I was to say I was nervous in that game would be an understatement, with the likes of Tom Rennie and those guys wondering why we were in the wrong jersey colors. But luckily, we pulled that one off, and we lost in the finals that year to the U.S. in that shootout. I'm sure everyone remembers, but yeah, you're gonna make mistakes, and it's how you respond to them, and keeping it light, and everyone does. If everyone was perfect at their job or their career, then that's not the case. And being at Hockey Canada or in the agency world, you're the hockey world, you're going to make wrong calls. It's how you react, and how you learn from it, right? I'll make sure to never in my Hockey Canada days, at least, make sure to double check the jersey colors after that one.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so moving on to now is what's some stories or things that you'd like to share, I guess, some of the cool things that the followers and viewers may find interesting.
Yeah, I think it's
Anything?
just these players, everyone puts them on this pedestal, but they're just like you and I. They want to sit around and have a campfire or a glass of wine with friends, or they love playing different sports and golf. And I find with our guys, at least at CAA, and even my time at Hockey Canada, it's just relating to them on a human level, and that they are like us. They put their pant legs on one leg at a time, and they I find we put these people on these pedestals, but I think it's just connecting with them on a human level is one thing that I really try to do in my role as an agent, is that you got to put yourself in their shoes, that this is their livelihood, and this is, how they make their living, and their families rely on this. So when you're negotiating deals or endorsements, you have to keep that in mind, that these are humans, and they're not just X's and O's and, names that don't have compassion levels or empathy or anything like that. So I think it's just really connecting with just people on a person to person level, and as far as stories, like, I've got a million stories. I think I've told some already on here, but I just think, traveling the world with these guys, the best part about Hockey Canada, well, best and worst, is that you never have the same team twice, right? So when I think back to 2015 World Juniors in Montreal, Toronto, where we had Connor and Reinhardt and, Domi and Nurse, and I look back, Theodore, Duclair, Braden Point was our 13th forward, but we'll never have that team together again, because different scenarios happen. Whereas with a club team, you can carry on and, okay, we'll get them next year. In my time at Hockey Canada, it was, if we don't win this, then it's, especially at Hockey Canada, if you don't win, it's technically considered a failure, right? But you can create some great friendships along the way. And it's been a great ride to go to Helsinki in 2016. And we were in Finland for a month with, Matt Barzal and Lawson Krause and, those guys. And you see them young, and then you see them sign these massive NHL deals, and they're on endorsements. And, you remember, like, one of my favorites was Braden Point at 2015 World Juniors. He was just this little kid out of Moose Jaw, and I think, he got into the lineup late, took advantage of an opportunity when Robbie Fabry went down with a high ankle sprain, and Pointer came in and slid right in and really put himself on the map. And now, I thought could have been, the MVP of the playoffs, got his cup now. And I think with that performance, put himself on the map for the next Olympic team, so you think about, the Pointer that showed up to World Juniors, this little scrawny kid, and now his growth, and how, you foster those friendships. And it's just so happy to see players that I've worked with, have that success, and, you just remember where they came from, and it's awesome to see.
For sure. Yeah. And even going back to our story, I'm one of many, but back in Sweden, I remember you were there for the World Juniors. McDavid, I think, was a 16-year-old at the time. He had the cage on, but that's when I came from, when I was playing for Morum Gois in Sweden. And just coming to, I remember messaging like the last thing. I was like, "Hey, I'm coming to the US Canada game." It was at the the rink in Malmo, the one beside the smaller one, but
Yeah.
it was a really cool experience, and just how you can connect with probably tons of different people around the world. But even myself, who, you know, we're childhood buddies, but we're meeting in Sweden at the
And
time.
that's what I love about the game, is that it's so global, you know, that I can see you in Sweden and I can go,
Yeah.
you know, when we were involved with the Olympic team there, you know, in 2018 with no NHL, you know, we're in Russia and I've got, you know, Matt Ellison from Duncan there. I've got Greg Scott from Victoria, people that you cross paths with, but who knows, you know, did I think we would be in Sochi, Russia at an Olympic trial in 2018?
Right.
No, right? But that just goes to show that everything happens for a reason, and all these, you know, it's just awesome to see. And I love seeing, you know, foreigners and or Canadians, sorry, and at foreign countries, and just how hockey is such a global game. It's just awesome to see.